All right, everyone, get ready for our deep dive today. We're heading into Stephen King's The Dark Tower, the seventh and last book in his epic Dark Tower series.
That's right. This book picks up right where Song of Susannah left us. And let me tell you, things get pretty crazy.
So if anyone out there wants to understand how Roland's journey finally ends, we're going to break the whole story down, chapter by chapter, just for you.
And believe me, we've got a lot to cover. The ka-tet, Roland's loyal group, they face their final showdown with evil. And some things, well, you just won't see them coming.
So the book starts off, it's like something out of a horror movie. This scary vampire bar in New York City called, get this, the Dixie Pig.
Oh, the Dixie Pig. It's more than just a vampire hangout. Think of it as a door to other dimensions, a place where reality gets kind of blurry.
Whoa.
Yeah. And this is where two of Roland's allies, Jake and Father Callahan, they're fighting to survive. They're trying to save Susannah. She's been taken to another world. Fedek.
Hold on, Father Callahan. Isn't that the priest from Salem's Lot?
You got it.
What's he doing in all this craziness?
Well, Father Callahan and Roland, their paths crossed years ago. Now, he's a key part of their ka-tet. He represents faith, even when facing pure evil.
Okay.
But things take a dark turn for him in the Dixie Pig. He makes a huge sacrifice, protects Jake from those vampires, shows some serious courage in the face of, well, darkness.
Man, that's got to be tough. But what about Susannah? What happened to her? And what's she doing in Fedek?
Well, remember from the last book, Susannah's pregnant.
Right.
But that pregnancy, it's all due to dark magic. The Crimson King's behind it. In Fedek, she gives birth, Mordred to Shane, a child with a seriously messed up family tree.
Whoa, hold on.
He's the son of both Roland and the Crimson King. Imagine the power. This kid's a potential threat to everything.
Roland's son? How's that even possible? What does this mean for Roland and his whole quest?
It's a twist, that's for sure. One of the most disturbing in the whole series. Mordred's birth is a turning point. This dual parentage thing sets him on a path that'll lead him right to a confrontation with Roland.
Okay, this is intense. So what happens to Susannah after she gives birth? And where does Mordred fit into all of this?
Giving birth to Mordred, it actually breaks that demonic hold she was under.
Oh, wow.
But the whole experience leaves her traumatized.
That makes sense.
Eventually, she meets up with Jake. They start heading back to Roland. Meanwhile, Mordred, he goes through this terrifying change.
Oh.
Yeah, he becomes this monstrous spider-like creature. It's like his twisted nature and hatred for Roland all rolled into this creepy physical form.
A spider monster. That's seriously scary stuff.
It is.
So we've got Mordred out there, heading for a clash with Roland. But hey, what about the main goal? The Dark Tower. Where are they in their journey at this point?
Oh, their quest for the Dark Tower. It's still going on. They're traveling through different dimensions, facing danger at every turn, and meeting some pretty strange characters. One of the weirdest encounters is when they run into someone named, get this, Stephen King.
Wait, Stephen King? Like, the author?
Yeah.
What's he doing in his own book?
It's like super metafictional. King just puts himself right into the story. Reality and fiction all mixed up.
Wow.
And during this meeting, something truly tragic happens. One of the saddest things in the whole series.
Oh, no, I have a bad feeling about this. Please don't tell me it's about Jake.
Yeah, sadly it is. Jake makes the ultimate sacrifice. He gives his own life to save King.
Oh, man.
It's heartbreaking. Roland's just devastated. It really shows the strong bond they all have and the sacrifices they're willing to make for each other.
Wow, this is heavy. Okay, what about Mordred? What's his role in all of this?
Well, remember Randall Flagg, the man in black from the earlier books?
Yeah.
He's the one pulling Mordred's strings, hoping to use him to get to the Dark Tower.
Oh, wow.
But Mordred, he's got his own evil plans.
Okay, this is getting really interesting. So where does all of this leave everyone? We've got Roland, who's just lost Jake. Susannah and Jake are back together. And this Crimson King guy.
Yeah.
He's still out there somewhere in the shadows, right?
Right. He's manipulating everything, trying to get what he wants.
And Mordred.
Oh, and don't forget Mordred. He's out there, getting stronger, becoming a real force to be reckoned with.
Man, sounds like things are about to explode. We'll be back in a flash. To keep going with the Dark Tower, don't go anywhere.
Welcome back. We were just talking about Mordred, son of Roland in the Crimson King. Now he's this creepy spider creature, and he wants revenge on his father.
Yeah, that's right. And remember, Jake sacrificed himself to save Stephen King.
Oh, absolutely. Losing Jake, it's a huge blow.
Yeah.
But Roland, he's driven by his destiny. He keeps going towards the Dark Tower. Him and Susannah and Oy, they push on, even though their group is smaller now. And the road ahead, it just gets tougher.
So where do they go from there? I mean, do they ever even reach the Dark Tower?
They do, but it's a long and brutal journey. They cross this giant frozen wasteland. They're starving, they're exhausted, and there are threats everywhere.
Yikes.
It really tests their strength and their dedication to the quest.
Sounds rough. I guess that makes their arrival at the Dark Tower even more powerful, right? So what happens when they finally get there? Is it what they imagined?
It's definitely not what they expected. For starters, the Dark Tower itself is, well, unexpected. It's not made of stone or anything like that. It's made from something way stranger. The flesh of this godlike being called Gan.
Hold on. A tower made of flesh. That's just disturbing. So do they have to fight this Gan creature? What's his role in this whole thing?
They don't actually interact with Gan directly. The story shifts to Roland. He finds this door at the top of the tower with his name on it, and that's where things get really, really interesting.
Oh, okay. I'm all ears. What's behind the door?
What's behind the door? Well, it's the big reveal, the one that's caused so much debate about this final book. When Roland walks through that door, he's transported back to the beginning of his whole journey, back to the events of the very first book, The Gunslinger.
Wait, you mean he's stuck in a loop? He goes through all of that,
Yeah.
the loss, the struggles, everything, just to end up back where he started.
That's it, exactly. It's this never-ending cycle. And every time he completes it, he remembers a little more from his past loops. He gets a deeper understanding of himself.
Yeah.
And the tower.
But he's trapped, doomed to repeat his journey forever.
Yeah.
Man, that's pretty bleak, especially for a guy who's been through so much.
Yeah.
What about the others in the ka-tet? Are they stuck in this loop with him?
No, their fates are different. Susannah, she's sent back to another version of New York City back in the 1980s. In this version, Jake's still alive, and he doesn't remember anything about their adventures.
Okay.
And Patrick Danville, the young artist who helped them in the final battle, well, his fate's a bit of a mystery.
Oh.
He just vanishes from the story. We never find out what happens to him.
So it sounds like Susannah gets something of a happy ending, a chance at a normal life, even if it means saying goodbye to Jake again. And Patrick, who knows? But Roland, he's the one carrying the weight of this endless cycle.
Exactly. And while it might feel like a cruel punishment, some readers see it as hopeful. Maybe, with each cycle, Roland gets closer to breaking free. Maybe he can finally find some redemption, some understanding.
Wow. Okay, so we have a lot to think about here. What happens next for Roland? What does this loop even mean for him and his quest? Right, we're back, and man, that whole time loop thing with Roland, it's a lot to process, you know? Such a powerful ending. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the most talked about parts of the whole series. Some people see it as a sad ending, like a punishment for Roland always chasing the Dark Tower. But others, they see it as a hopeful thing. Like maybe it's a chance for Roland to learn from his mistakes, you know, and break free from the loop eventually.
It's like King is leaving it up to us, the readers, to figure out what happens next. Does Roland find some peace? Does he reach a real ending? Or is he stuck walking that same path forever?
I think those questions are what make the Dark Tower so good. It's not just about the ending, it's about the whole journey, the choices we make, the sacrifices we go through, and everything we learn along the way.
And for Roland, it's facing the results of those choices again and again and again.
Right, and each time he goes through it, he remembers more from his past lives. He gets a deeper understanding of the tower and his place in everything. But that knowledge comes with a cost. The loss, the heartbreak, the constant struggle, it all comes back too.
It makes you think, is it worth all that pain, you know, just to understand things? Is there a point where the quest becomes more important than the person on it?
That's a question that goes way beyond the Dark Tower. It's something we all deal with. What are we willing to give up for the things we believe in? And how do we find meaning when there's so much suffering?
Those are some deep thoughts, but I think that's what makes this series so impactful. It doesn't shy away from the tough stuff. Makes you think, makes you feel, and it sticks with you long after you finish the book.
Definitely. And the Dark Tower, it may not give us easy answers, but it does give us something really valuable, a chance to think about those questions, to journey with Roland and his ka-tet, and to figure out for ourselves what good and evil are, what fate and free will mean, and how powerful stories can be.
I think that's a great way to wrap up our look at the Dark Tower. What a ride. Unexpected twists, sad moments, and ideas that really make you think. And we've just scratched the surface of what this series is all about.
It's a journey worth taking, even if we don't know for sure where it leads. And who knows? Maybe, like Roland, each time we revisit this incredible story, we'll discover something new.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, May you have twice the speed and half the trouble on your own journeys.